You have a strong force of will, stronger than I felt possible. I have never heard tell of a mortal that could stand in a shower. But we are here. I can recall now, vaguely. I walked this place before, and shaped the ground. That tree in the center, it is the embodiment of the sorrows. Bizarrain will be there, but he has prepared himself. This barrier keeps us from him, and there are other magics at work. It is a place the Weeping that I crafted to house the sorrows. Beyond its borders is a Shara, the plane of magic. When Fae are born, their life force comes from a Shara, and to Shara their life force returns upon death. This is a powerful place. The tree in the center of the space, the inversion of the gallows tree that you've seen in the midden, that is the form of the sorrows. The midden is the cradle of winter. It is connected to this realm where the winter fae descend from. The gallows tree serves to bridge the midden and Ashara. Yes, we can. I can sense the conduits the magic follows, and there are weak points, nexuses of energy that we can exploit. But Bizarrain is no fool. He will not leave them unguarded. And I feel strange presences. There is something waiting, mortal. Something dreadful. Once he was a mighty figure among us. But when the house reached an accord with the Tuatha, he would not accept the terms and left. I know he fights for the sake of our people, but in truth, I have always feared him. It is hard to trust one that gives in to war so soon. They could delve the essence of entropy from the bodies of the Winter Fae, but they did more, so much more. The Weeping King lived on through them, his axe persisting long after he left these lands. For the Weeping King is always needed, even now. Once, it seemed nothing more than a symbol of our house, but I have come to learn things I never would have understood had it not been here. The gallows tree is more important than we ever thought, mortal. Take heart of it, for we will need its strength in the times of need ahead. We are all but gone, and all that remains in our stead are whisperers. In many ways, we were the vanguards of winter. We became the harbingers of this doom. But there is some small hope in knowing that there was life before the House of Sorrows, in the time of the Weeping King. Bizarrain is correct in that he can manipulate the magic of this place, but we can manipulate it as well, if not as easily. The barrier is strong, but it feeds off nexuses of energy, and those are vulnerable. We must destroy them to reach Bizarrain. We must hurry. We must be quick.
We meet again, mortal. Can I truly be here? Standing before the sorrows? I remember no swords, fire, and then nothing. But he brought me back to fight you. I can't. I'm sorry, mortal. So sorry.
must be quick.
You dare tread here. A mortal dare shows himself in the sacred lands of the House of Sorrows. I have been dead a short time, and already I learned so much since he raised me. You are the cause of all this. Bizarrain relied on you for his plans. Because of you, the house is dead.
We must be quick. There is no time to speak. We must stop Bizarrain before he can unleash the sorrows. We must hurry.
Finally, you have come. I must admit, I did not give you credit when last we faced each other, and now I am here. My master has raised me to protect his labours, and I will oblige him. You may have bested me previously, but you will not do so again. Perhaps if I take your head here, my master will have faith in me once again. Shall we find out? Mountain God!
We must be quick.
And so you have finally reached me. I have waited, mortal. The longest of any I have waited. And now, Bizarrain has raised me against my will to be part of his design. I sought to stop him. I found the plan he had conspired, and I fled the house, for I knew not what to do. But I could have stopped this scheme. And then you came and killed me. And now I am a puppet to his will. He cannot be stopped, mortal. Bizarrain cannot be stopped.
We must be quick.
You have slain what vestiges of your past I could conjure, and the barrier has fallen. So now, we are here. You think your presence here can stay my spells? The last words have been uttered. You are too late to stop me. Save your plea. We are beyond the point of discourse. Draw your weapon.
Bizarin may be dead, but the death blow is still his. The Sorrows have already begun escaping their seal. We need to act quickly, or this will all be for nothing. I must seal the Sorrows within myself. I do not know for sure. I will be forced to remain in Ashara, lest the Sorrows break free once more. Whether I will live or die is unclear. But I cannot be afraid. It must be done. For the good of mortals, for the good of Fae. It is a noble sentiment, mortal, but you do not understand. They must be anchored in Ashara, and you cannot remain here. Only I can. But please, bear witness to this last act. Tell the world what happened here, how the House of Sorrows ended. We must hurry.
So few of the Winter Court left to stand against the Tuatha.
Gadfro's voice has fallen silent in this land. The Tuatha are frightened and disorganized. They run back to Alabastra to make their final stand. We owe you much. Our eyes are opened and our blades unsheathed. Cluricon is won, but the House of Pride stands between us and the final goal. We are now free to press forward. And I can take you to an old friend who knows the next step. Yes, we will take you to his filthy tower on the island of Danistar. He hides within, and has not emerged in some time. I would like nothing more than to let him rot there. But he knows of a way past the sentinel of the House of Pride. But there will be more danger on the path ahead. Take these blades to prepare for whatever troubles you will face at his tower or beyond. Far to the southwest, there is a darkened tree by the Caelid coast. Meet me there, and we can walk the shadow to the gnome's tower. Aelin Shear will be waiting there. She was most insistent to join in whatever business you have with the Collector of the Dead. Danister Island is sheltered from visitors by stone and storm. Exiles of the Winter Court were once banished to its lonely shores. We know of a secret shadowed path, a legacy from a house all too familiar with exile. My people are no strangers to exile on the barren island of Danistar. To steal back our freedom, the House of Sorrows forged a path to the coast through living shadow. It's safe so long as you keep your eyes closed during the journey and ignore the whispers. We've seen Ventrinio leave the island before, but until recently, he always had company. Usually they were henchmen. Sometimes they were corpses. And once, not too long ago, it was you. Meet me at the Caelid coast. The Winter Fae know of a shadow path to Ventrinio's island. We will meet again at the shadowed tree on the Caelid coast.
Walking through living shadow, eh? I'll leave that one to you. I won't lie. Aileen's been a big help. She saved me once or twice at Melson Shear when she could have just let me die. Still can't shake the feeling that she's hiding something. But whatever it is, it's probably not too sinister. Probably. It's Fey magic. Connects 2 points together like a bridge. I suppose that explains how they got a small group all the way to Dalentarth. No, I think you can handle that one by yourself. I have some work to do with the army in Cluricon.
Of contempt, fear, and hate courses through the rushing veins to the very fingertips. The instruments of war are readied, light in the grip, and machinations of the gauntlets of the Fey Hunter.
The Tuatha are on the run. Good work. Plus, it's much more pleasant here without Gadflo bellowing at me from all corners. But enough pleasantry. Are you prepared for your reunion with Ventrinio? The notes we got from Octien say that you were employed as Ventrinio's assistant in his secret laboratory. You were with him in Alabastra when you died. But the notes weren't clear on what happened. I'm sure the two of you have so much catching up to do. Very forthright of you. I'm sure he'll be very reasonable. He probably won't even ask why you're back from the dead. Just make sure he lives long enough to get us into Alabastra, and you can count on my help. Danistar is almost perfectly defended. Ventrinio could keep an army off of its shores. Good thing we found another way there. Secret Fey paths through elemental darkness? Magic like that should be closely guarded. Imagine how powerful it could be. He's a worm, but a useful one. Octien took quite a risk setting him up in Cluricon. Must have made a lot of deals to keep him safely hidden away. Of course, this is bound to be informative. I'm just disappointed I never had a chance to see the original Well of Souls. I believe our new friend has a disturbing path of living shadow to offer you. By all means, be my guest.
Good luck with the gnome, especially if you plan on killing him. Stand in the pool of shadow, close your eyes and touch the tree. I'll take care of the rest. And don't open your eyes while you're moving through the shadows, no matter what you hear. Right this way, and we can walk the shadow to Danistar Island. The shadow awaits. Make it quick. This island is a perversion.
I hope you're ready for this. I believe our new friend has a disturbing path of living shadow to offer you. By all means, be my guest. This island smells like death. Stay behind me. Whatever that gnome's been up to, it looks like he's glad you didn't turn clumsy fools. This is no social visit. Keep your wits sharp, just as Hughes thought. Ventrinio used the same wards from their old lab. This'll be quick. Follow me and be careful. The lads are coming from somewhere in here.
The energy from the Well of Souls is overwhelming. Damn it! What's wrong?
And why are there so many lads?
One step closer. Sounds like our rat is caught in a trap. I'm sure he'd be happy to help whoever saves him. Careful, or we'll get trapped up there too. Here's where we part ways. I'll stop the lads at the stairwell. You get upstairs and retrieve Ventrinio. Shouldn't be hard to find him. Keep moving up and follow the cowardly shrieking. I'll hold this staircase. Move!
A new source of power? What sort of nonsense is this? If anything had come in here, my detection spells would have... Wait. Who's down there? Show yourself. I get for using all those soldiers. I never should have let them keep their swords. When you get up here, try not to look directly into the well. It can be a little upsetting. Damn it! Hurry! The whole well starts to collapse. Took your gods, damn it! Ever since the Balor was defeated, the chaos magic sent the well off its alignment. You show up, and now the Laz are... Wait. What? It's you. You're alive. But I saw you die. I'm Ventrinian, of course. Don't you remember me? You were my assistant here at the Well of Souls. You were going to help me change the world. But of course, that was before you died. terrible. You were the best assistant I ever had. Who else could have helped me get into Alabastra? Who else had that ambition? We got more than enough Prismere, but you wanted to track down the power source, even if it meant sneaking right under Gadflow's nose. I spent days trying to recover your body, but I never expected to find you alive, or for you to return. Speaking of which, how did you return anyway? Of course you did. You went there to steal Prismere to power the well. You wanted to go after the source of the Prismere itself. You went off, geared for war, sneaking into Baal itself. You damned fool! I had a better chance of bringing you back from the dead than I had of changing your mind. But I wasn't able to do either. What? That's impossible. You were attuned at this well. You've never even set foot in his lab. Hughes is a joke. He doesn't have the stomach for this work. Don't try waking the dead if you're not ready to make a few corpses, I say. But the well is coming down around us. Quick! I've got to slow the energy and shut this thing down. And don't... Oh, damn it all! Here they come! Hold them off! The Laz are here! Hold them off while I try to stop the flow of energy to the well. Ignore the rumbling. Focus on the Laz. Very delicate. Anything we can salvage? Even a piece? All my work gone. Damn it all! But at least we're still alive. Once again, I triumph over death itself. Going back into Alabastra. Well, I still have a way in, but it's more dangerous now than the last time we went. I'll need more Prismere if I'm to rebuild the well. And I suppose I owe you something for saving my life. Perhaps this talisman can help you. It's a little something I salvaged from the debris. It might just help against whatever killed you the first time. We got in with a little help, of course. See, it's all because of Callus Dren, the defender of pride. In his house, no one can stand before him. None can even approach, unless you have my little secret. Patience, patience. You'll have it soon enough. I'm going to have to dig it out of the rubble of the tower. Go to the field of Huber, and I'll meet you there. And if you value your life, do not approach Dren. Dren, defender of pride. One of twin defenders, quite powerful in their homes. But did you know they were also entirely immune to each other's powers? And it seems the defender of valor quite disappeared when her house fell. Imagine how useful she would have been if she were here today. After an unfortunate incident with the Templars, Octian decided to move my work someplace a little further from the public eye. We both felt that an island in another land behind the front lines of a war might just be far enough from prying eyes. You mean your deadly little shadow? I know her type. All smiles now, but it's just so she can get close enough to stick her knives in you. I know the type. Lucky youth, peaked early, then crawled into a bottle and waited to die. I'm impressed you dragged him away from that bottle, but I wouldn't expect him to do any heavy thinking. Simple bone soldiers, easy enough for any decent mage to build and animate. They're not really alive any more than a puppet is. Gadflow's got an empire built on Prisma. Think of all the power he's sitting on. And he's wasting it on swords and bows. Arrogant fools, all of them. At least we could sneak past them when they were overconfident. Now that the army's at their gate, they'll be watching for us. He wasn't fit to hold my crucible, much less carry on my work. He could barely even stand to cut open a warm corpse for study. I can't imagine the reason you came back in his well instead of mine. Probably some freak attunement transfer. A horrible, messy, ugly place. Too dark to keep bodies preserved and too hot to keep them from stinking. Oh, to be back in a cave and a tear. Partial successes at best. They remember how to fight, but that's about all they're good for. Named them after an old nursery rhyme. Damn things are always moaning all the time. I thought it might shut them up to give them a name. You don't remember it? Well, why dredge up the past? After all, you're fine now, aren't you? You're not the type to hold a grudge, right? You were my assistant in the well, and a damned good one at that. Octian hired you personally, said you were especially resourceful, and left it at that. I didn't know anything about you before you worked for me, and I knew better than to ask. You didn't like talking about yourself. Actually, you didn't like much of anything. Honestly, you were a terror to be around. But you've changed. I can tell. Before you died, you would never have been this diplomatic. You probably would have knifed me for answers by now. Oh, speaking of which, you left this in your room before you died. Take it, take it. We were in Alabastra, and I never thought it'd be dangerous. At least, not very. Oh, don't give me that look. Accidents happen. You can't make an omelette without leaving a few corpses. Fine. We were collecting Prismere and Alabastra. We needed it to power the well, of course, and you got a wild idea to track down the source of the power. I tried to stop you. I really did. But you decided to sneak into Amethyst, and I wasn't about to get killed along with you. I spent days trying to get your corpse back, but to no avail. Much as I hate to admit it, I should thank Hughes for succeeding where I failed. Octian, the man lacked vision. Can you believe all he wanted was his own personal immortality machine? Such a narrow-minded goal for a Templar. Still, he wasn't squeamish about what had to be done in order to develop the well. I suppose he paid well, too, if you consider that any reason to pursue the sciences. We needed tremendous quantities of Prismere to fuel the well, but it's almost unheard of outside of Alabastra, so we had to sneak in to gather our own. My name is Ventrinio Desalini. and I am Professor Emeritus Abscondus of Post-Mortem Studies at the Edessa University. Of course, that was all before I began work on the Well of Souls. Such an important undertaking doesn't leave much time for other pursuits, you know. The Well of Souls is a noble project. Yes, sacrifices have been made. Laws have been broken. People have died. And they will continue to die. Don't you see? That's exactly what I'm trying to prevent. How many have died in this war? Thousands. The bodies are shoulder deep on the battlefields, but for trying to cure it, they call me a monster? Just go to the field of Huber and wait for me. I'll meet you down there once I can find this damned essence. Get going.
I'll keep an eye on the gnome.
Remember, don't go near Dren until I get there.
I'm sure we can trust Ventrinio, but I'll keep an eye on him. Sidon says the barrier into Alabastra is a result of a fae named Dren, the defender of pride, or so they say. All I know is that everyone who walks into that barrier falls to their knees and gets cut down if they don't get pulled back out. Everyone except Ventrinio. The House of Pride is the gateway to Alabastra. Until we can find a way through it, Gadflow can send his soldiers through. Mindless soldiers who fight without thoughts. Really just wild magic moving a corpse around. I'll stay here and keep an eye on Ventrinio. We'll meet you at the field of Huber, to the south. You got into Alabastra once. You can do it again.